So next, lesson 3, page C20, we're going to learn how weathering changes rocks and how erosion changes the Earth's surface. So how do water and wind change the Earth's surface? Snow, ice, water, a plant, they seem like pretty gentle things. Can you believe that they all can break a rock? They can, but only after a very long time. So let's see how weathering breaks rocks. Changes are happening to landforms all the time. Some changes happen very quickly. The changes that result from erupting volcanoes are examples of changes that happen quickly. Other changes are slow and may take many, many years, hundreds, thousands of years. All surfaces on the earth can change. Even a material as hard as a rock can change. Weathering is usually a slow change. Weathering, so here up in the glossary, it tells us what weathering is, the breaking apart and changing of rocks. And it tells us again right here where it's highlighted. Weathering is the breaking down and changing of rocks. Weathering can be caused by water, changing temperature, and living things. Let's look and see what this picture is about over here. So a pothole starts to form when water gets into a tiny crack in the street surface. When the weather becomes cold, the water freezes. When it becomes warmer, the ice melts. All the freezing and melting puts pressure on the pavement. The small crack grows into a larger crack. When cars and trucks pass over it, the large crack can grow into a round hole. Top of page C21. So after many years of weathering, a huge boulder might crack and crumble. The tops and sides of mountains can also be changed by weathering. Water causes weathering in a few ways. Water can get into cracks in rocks. When water freezes, it expands or grows larger. It pushes on the sides of the cracks. Eventually, the rock might break apart. Water can also dissolve some parts of rocks. The dissolved rocks might be washed away. In some places, caves may form where water has dissolved away rock. Plants can also break down rocks. Plant roots can grow down inside cracks in rocks. As the roots grow larger, they can break apart the rocks. The roots of a large plant, I didn't pull it down far enough. The roots of a large plant, such as a tree, can even break a huge boulder. So let's take a look at and see what this picture is all about. It says freezing and melting are breaking down the rock in the cliff. See the ice in there? See all the cracks in this rock? The snow will melt and the water will get into the cracks in the rocks. Then the water will freeze. After some years, cracks in the rocks will grow. Pieces of rock might fall off the cliff. When you guys go down for walks on the beach, you should be looking at the cliffs and looking at the different things around here that show weathering. There's beaches that have very cool formations of rock on them. So let's look at the next page, C22. How erosion changes the Earth's surface. So let's see what our glossary says erosion means. Erosion is the carrying away of weathered rock or soils by water, wind, or other causes. Glacier is a huge amount of moving ice. What happens to rocks that have broken apart because of weathering? Some pieces stay where they are. Other pieces get carried away to other places. Each year, wind, water, and gravity move weathered rocks and soil. The carrying away of these materials is called erosion. Erosion changes the Earth's surface everywhere. Most of the time, these changes happen slowly. Sometimes, though, erosion can happen quickly. The picture shows some ways that erosion happens. So let's look down here at this picture. So this one says rivers. So let's look at the picture over here. See the canyon right here? Going through with the river going through it? So this canyon in Utah was formed by the water moving of the Green River. Over thousands of years, the water carried away bits of weathered rock. At some places, the force of the moving rock was very strong. The bits of rock and sand in the water wore away more of the river walls. Erosion is making the canyon deeper and deeper. And then this one over here, glaciers. So this picture here, the area that looks like a large road is a glacier. A glacier is a huge amount of moving ice that forms over many years. It is made of layers of snow. Glaciers move slowly. They carry rocks with them as they move. As the glacier melts, the rocks stay on the ground. Let's see what wind does. Wind can carry away only small bits of material, such as dust or sand. Wind erosion happens most often in dry, sandy places. Strong winds can carry sand over long distances. When the wind slows down, the sand drops to the ground. Wind and sand can also shape objects like this pillar. The blowing sand kept hitting against a pile of rock. After many years, some of the rock was scraped away. The wind could actually carry away lots of sand. My cousin lives in an area in Texas where it gets so windy that you can't see from all the sand blowing around. So this picture right here, this one says gravity. You have learned that gravity is a force that pulls objects down. Gravity can cause erosion. It causes rocks and soils to move down slopes. So here's a slope, and as you can see, the gravel's kind of tumbling down. Sometimes they move quickly, as in this mudslide. A great amount of rain fell here. The wet, heavy soil moved quickly down the slope. Alright, so here's the questions for you to answer today. Number 1, what does weathering do to rocks? Now remember, you can go back and revisit the stuff if you don't remember any of these questions. Describe, number 2, some ways that erosion happens. And number 3, the main idea. Pages 20 and 21. Look at the pictures, the captions on the pictures. Find one sentence in each caption that tells how weathering is alike in the pavement and in the cliff. So let's look at page 20 and 21. Okay, so the pavement over here, and this is the caption, the words that describe the picture, and the cliff over here in the caption, the words that describe the picture. So what are you supposed to do? Find one sentence in each caption that tells how weathering is alike. How they kind of work the same with both the pavement and the cliff. All right?